Hi everyone, welcome back to SAT 021. Today let's talk about rational equations. First, let's look at the definition of rational equations. A rational equation is an equation including fractions with at least a variable in the denominator. So which of the following are rational equations? We have three equations, and we may see that for the first and second one, x appears at denominator. But for the third one, x only appears at the numerator. So the first and second are rational equations, but the third one is not. As we know that for a fraction, the denominator cannot equal to 0. So for rational functions, we have to check the domain of each fractional terms. So how to find the domain of rational equations? So we have to make the denominator not equal to 0. For example, for the first one, 6 minus x cannot equal to 0, and x cannot equal to 0. So x cannot equal to 6, and x cannot equal to 0. And for the second one, x plus 5 times x minus 4 cannot equal to 0. And we may solve it respectively. X plus 5 cannot equal to 0, and x minus 4 cannot equal to 0. So x cannot equal to negative 5, and x cannot equal to 4. So that's the domain of these two rational equations. Let's do one question together. If m is the negative solution of the equation above, what is the value of m? And the equation is 2 over x plus 3 equals 3 over x plus 1 minus 1 over 4. So the first step is find the domain of the equation. X plus 3 cannot equal to 0, and x plus 1 cannot equal to 0. So x cannot equal to negative 3, and x cannot equal to negative 1. And after that, we have to find the least common denominator. So for the three terms, as their denominator don't have anything in common, so we just times them together. So the least common denominator is 4 times x plus 3 times x plus 1. And we may times everything by the least common denominator. And after that, we may simplify and solve the equation. So we may apply distributive law for the right-hand side first, and then cancel some terms, and calculate the numbers, and apply distributive law again, and open the brackets, and move everything to the right, combine like terms. So we got 25 minus x squared equals 0. And we may factor the right-hand side. 0 equals 5 plus x times 5 minus x. And we know that x equals 5, or x equals negative 5. After we find the solutions, we may check whether the two solutions are within the domain. So we can see that both 5 and negative 5 are within the domain. So 5 and negative 5 are all our solutions. And as the question asked for the negative solution, so m equals negative 5. So when you are solving rational equations, follow these 4 steps. The first one, find the domain. And the second one, find the least common denominator. 3, simplify and solve the equation. And at last, try to check extraneous roots. And that's all for today. See you then.